Looking at my overall product, I think that it does fit in well with other well-established local newspapers over the county. Yet, at the same time, it challenges some conventions and is unique. My newspaper conforms to a typical style of a tabloid, like many regional newspapers do, and have kept it to a four-column layout. The local newspaper I've created is an adaptation of many local newspapers and combining national newspapers. I have included aspects of all these newspapers with the layout of the page to the stories discussed as well as advertisements. David Buckingham's series Children Talking Television in 1993, he said that genre is not simply given by the culture, rather it is in a constant process of negotiation and change. With this in mind, I decided to challenge certain generic characteristics because of my target audience. It is a conventional target audience, and I therefore needed to negotiate and change certain aspects of my products to appeal a lot more to my target audience. For the headline, you can see that the genre convention suggests that you have three words in three different lines. When you see my presentation, you can see I uploaded an example of a mid-market newspaper, Daily Express. So I decided to challenge this by going for a type of my own headline. As for the color scheme, you can see the Camden New Journal, like you could see the layout of the color scheme, but I use it to black. So my newspaper challenges the norms of local newspaper color schemes, as it uses two or one color than most newspapers. This was a deliberate attempt, however it will appeal to my target audience as the vibrancy and energy will attract them more. Another reason why this would appeal to my target audience is because they actually requested for this color scheme. A questionnaire with members of my target audience, a few of them suggested it should be a distinctively color from the normal newspapers, but not so much so that it doesn't actually look like a newspaper. This will all help create a preferred reading for my target audience, as they will feel as though they are represented and can associate themselves with the content of my free products. So how my product conforms to the conventions of local newspapers? I base a lot of my ideas on the theory created by Jacques Derrida, The Law of Genre, written in the year 1981. She said that a text cannot belong to no genre. It cannot be without a genre. Every text participates in one or several genres. There is no genreless text. I thought this to be very true, as a lot of my ideas were inspired by examples which I decided to take and develop more into my ideas. For instance, my ancillary task, which is the newspaper, I was inspired by The Guardian, Fact and Opinions advertisement. It was vibrant and colourful and attracted me especially because it held no images but had a lot of creativity, and this is what I had done on my poster, where I inserted the map of the area and the binoculars, and I added the names or the genres that will include in my newspaper on the background. Fonts and font sizes. I followed the conventions of hierarchical font sizes, which I got from my research and development stages of my portfolio. For instance, if the font of the masthead is 24, then the lead headline must be 6 to 8 smaller. Layout of newspaper front page and feature page. I followed case studies such as Kilburn Times, Camden New Journal, Ealing Gazette, and the Metro, to identify and find out how to contrast my newspaper in a way that reflects generic conventions of newspaper texts. Steve Neal, from Questions of Genre 1990. He said that genre contributes to the regulation of desire, memory, and expectation. This theory also applies to my reasoning behind following conventions. I'd like my target audience to remember that what newspaper is indeed a newspaper, and that means conforming to certain types of conventions and looking like it. With them remembering this, I'd like to them accept the articles to be constructed in a way that is similar to conventional newspapers. The only difference between the two would be the content. This means structuring not only the content of my newspaper, but the layout of it to create a sense of desire for my newspaper by my audience.